Welcome back to FTL. When we last left off, we had just cleared out Sector 5 with the rock ship on easy mode, and now we're going to move on to Sector 6, so let's get going. The Engi homeworlds. It's nice to have a friendly sector as the final sector of the game. And the first thing we see is the distress beacon, so let's go see what that's about. It was a trap. Not too worried because we have a very well-equipped crew for dealing with both boarders and enemy ships. I'm going to fire an Artemis missile at their medbay to try and disable that and then send my boarding party over. I should be able to dodge their missiles with my cloaking, so I don't have to worry about that so much. Oh dear, fired a second missile. Didn't mean to do that. Hopefully that won't end up being a huge problem. Yep, it looks like they teleported away, but they are badly wounded, so we took care of that fight in short order. Now we're ready to move on. There's a store right there, but I would like to visit some more sectors before we get there. We have an Engi ship that had lain in wait for us. You can see they sent some Mantis over to try and disable our ship, but between our two rockmen and the reinforced doors, I think we'll be able to handle them without too much trouble. You can see that it's an all-Mantis crew, which is a little worrisome, but I'm not hugely concerned. I'm going to cloak to dodge these incoming missiles. Your boarding crew is running very low on health, so they will probably be forced to teleport away before they can even disable my oxygen system entirely. And if not, that's okay. They are severely wounded, so I'll be able to finish them off with my rockmen and then get the oxygen system repaired. There we go. And we get another crew member. It's another Engi, so I don't really need him, but more importantly, we got a bunch of scrap, and we didn't lose any crew. With that, we are ready to jump on. Oh, 2 stores. Excellent. Nothing I particularly need there. I have been told that automated reloaders do stack, but I'm really happy with our augmentation setup right now. I think that's a really nice combination, so I'm going to leave it as is. I'm tempted to buy more fuel and missiles, but I think I'd be better off seeing what this other store has to offer first. More of the same, pretty much. We're in the last sector, so I'm not going to worry about buying fuel, because I know I'm going to get a bunch for free at the start of the end of the game. I am going to buy all their missiles, just because I plan on using them for at least parts of the final boss fight, if not the entire thing. Here we have a very large Mantis ship. Once again, they send boarders on board. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fire a missile into their cockpit because I know they have a crew member in there, and if I can damage him before I send my boarders on, it'll make the fight a little bit easier for them. Remember to de-target that missile launcher after I send it in. And yeah, so now they're fighting one Mantis that's already been severely wounded, and one more that's at full health, but that's a pretty decent fight, actually. And their last one is an Engi. I'm not worried about that. My rock crew members are getting a little low, but they were so low on health that they had to teleport home. So I think I've got this fight in the bag. I'm going to cloak to dodge that last laser salvo they sent my way. And that ought to do it. Excellent. I do have a breach in my hull, but my rockmen will be able to fix that up without too much fuss. looking good on upgrades. I definitely need more reactor power and, a whole slew of other stuff. I'm going to put a couple more points into my weapons so I can use both burst lasers. And now it's time to start saving up for that final level of shield protection, I think. Here we have some pirates, soon to be ex-pirates. They have both a glaive beam and a standard laser. That's an unusual loadout that they are not going to get the chance to use on us. There we go. That was quick. We got a whole bunch of extra scrap for that. So now we can almost afford to upgrade our shields already. I'm going to jump to the exit sector now, just to check it out and get in that general area before the rebel fleet gets too nearby. I don't want to sell any drone parts for scrap because I will need them for the final boss. Actually, on second thought, I am going to sell half of what I have, because now I can upgrade my shields fully, and I still have 6 left, which is enough to usually get you through the last fight, especially when you've only got 1 drone on here. I can't save them from giant alien spiders. Here I'm going to pick a fight with this ship, and it turns out that I didn't even activate it, so I get some free stuff out of the deal. Not bad. I can afford 1 more brick of power now, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now I've got a full set of shields. Excellent. It is time to move on to the last sector. You'll notice my ship is nowhere near completely maxed out this time, as it has been in previous playthroughs, but I think with this loadout and this setup, I should still be able to beat the game as long as I don't make any critical mistakes. But we still have 1 more sector, so I have plenty of time to get more scrap and finish upgrading my ship. There's a store right there, but I don't have any scrap yet, so I'm going to jump around a little bit first. We have a mercenary, who is essentially just going to be more free scrap for us. Very good. Get another crew member, but he's a human. We don't need him. Now we have enough to check out that store. Let's see. I'm tempted to get that ion bomb to replace one of my missile weapons, because it does really well against the final boss's shields. So I'm going to go ahead and sell my hull missile, buy the ion bomb, and then get a couple more fuel just for safety's sake. Also going to purchase 1 more brick of power so I can run everything I need to at once. The nice thing is the ion bomb only requires 1 power, so it'll be pretty cheap to upgrade my weaponry to the point where I can use that along with everything else. And since the ion bomb will be ignoring the final boss's shields, it'll be very effective even in the second form when it has that defense drone. Oh, the Dread Pirate Tuco. I am not really filled with dread, I gotta be honest. Mantis and a Rockman, that's gonna be a close fight, but hopefully I can win it. Oh, I sent another missile in there, that was a mistake. Although it may end up working in my favor. Oh, this is gonna be very, very close. Oh, just barely pulled that one out without losing a crew member. It's so important to keep tabs on your crew's health, and if they're leveled up in combat like that, it's a little bit safer, but you can't just send them in there and then forget about them, or you will lose people. And I've done that more times than I'd like to recall. With that, I think it's time to upgrade our weaponry 1 more time, so now I can use everything, and continue to head towards the exit. an empty beacon. Here we have more pirates. More pirates means more free scrap. And that was quick and easy. And we got another automated reloader. And we got a whole bunch of scrap in return. I am actually going to swap out my scrap recovery arm for the second automated reloader, because if they do stack, now I'm getting a 30% recharge time discount on all of my weapons, which is fantastic. That, combined with the weapon pre-igniter, means that I'm going to be shooting a lot of lasers very quickly. And with that, I'm going to max out my door control by a couple more bricks of power and upgrade my engines once. So now I've got everything but the defense drone fully powered, and I can always do some power juggling to turn that on if I need to. And we'll probably get more scrap that we can spend on stuff before we get to the end of this sector anyway. Fuel for drone parts, yeah, we're almost to the end, why not? One more drone part couldn't hurt. We get 71 scrap for rescuing somebody from an asteroid field, which is nice. There's another store up there. Can't hurt to check that out. Got some interesting weapons, actually. You know what, I'm going to buy that second defense drone, just for the sake of having two, and then any more scrap I get from this point on, I will spend on upgrading my reactor. So hopefully by the time we get to the final boss, I'll be able to turn both of those on. Here we come across another pirate ship. This one has cloaking, which is annoying, but not a huge deal. They don't have a medbay, however, so they are very vulnerable to angry 9-foot-tall insect men. I'm going to cloak early just to dodge those missiles, and then turn on a defense drone to shoot down that doubtless incoming hull missile that they're going to send in. My guys are getting a little low on health here. I may have to bring them back. Yep, that's okay. Bring them back and get them healed up, and then I'll finish off this fight. Cloak again, but that is not going to save them. And yeah, it turns out bringing them back was a wise decision because they actually had 4 guys on their crew. And there we go. Get a whole bunch of scrap, a repair arm, which I don't need, so I'm not going to take it. Now we can buy a whole bunch of power and upgrade our drone control to the point where we can use both of them now if we need to. Things are looking good, so I think it is time to move on to the final sector. Alright, we have 2 repair points within easy reach, so I will be taking advantage of that. And since I actually haven't really used my weapons at all in this fight yet, let's take advantage of that weapon reloader we have. And those all missed. Okay. That's fine. They send in some enemy boarders. Not too worried about that. Don't want to use any more missiles, so now it's just going to be a matter of timing out my laser shots to punch through their shields. Just to show it off, before the final boss fight, I'll put an ion bomb in there, so now their shields are down for quite a long time. I think something like 30 seconds with that much ion damage. So it should be a fairly simple matter to take out their weapons and destroy their ship. I could send my boarding party over, but I've done a lot of boarding. I feel like blowing these guys up instead. Nope, don't want your surrender, want you to be dead. And now you're dead. Let's go to this first repair point. Get some stuff. Excellent. We'll go straight to the second one. Even better. Now we know the ship is heading in this general direction, so I'm going to have to jump down here. The double exclamation points mean that this is an actual Rebel fleet encounter, as opposed to just fighting a standard standalone Rebel ship. This guy is very well equipped, but I've got an ion bomb, so let's see what that does. Oh, look at that. It takes out half of his shields. Very nice. They sent over boarders, but once again, angry mantis men. And I have so many missiles now that I don't even have to be particularly stingy with them at this point. Now I think I can stop using my missiles and simply wear these guys down with my lasers. One more ion bomb, just to finish them off. And there we go. We only get one fuel, but we do get a chance to upgrade our ship a little bit more. And I would like some more power and an upgraded med bay. Now all my guys will be able to heal more quickly, which will be good in this last fight, which we are about to do, so let's get to it. Alright, here is the final boss. Gonna use pretty much my standard attacks on this. I'll send my Mantis over to disable the missile launcher, and I'll use my weapons on their shields. The great thing is I have an ion bomb, so cutting through their shields should be pretty easy. And I have enough power that even just by powering my medbay down once, I can turn on both defense drones. So I am extremely well prepared for this fight. I'm so relieved that I got this far, finally, with this ship. Can't believe it took me 4 tries. Alright. Send them over. Start targeting our stuff. Alright. That is a good start. Now I do still want to stagger my laser attacks for the time being, at least until I get their shields all the way down. I also have to be careful not to destroy the ship before I can get my Mantis back off of it, like that earlier playthrough we saw. That was both embarrassing and a hassle later on in the fight. Now with that done, I can bring my Mantis home. And with them home, it's time to just unload on this guy. And this fight is going to be over pretty quickly, I think. There we go. Not bad. Took absolutely no damage. Considering how close we were to failure early on in this run, I am very pleased with how things are turning out so far. Alright. I'm going to spend one more point of reactor power. And let's take on form number 2. Now for form number 2, I want to make sure to turn on my defense drones. Send my Mantis over to take out that missile launcher as soon as possible. And I'm just going to use my ion bomb on the shields until the shields are down, and then I'll switch it over to drone control. And that guy got through, but he's in an empty room. So I'm not actually too worried about that. I think I'll probably be able to take down the boss before he actually can break through that door. Alright. Mantis are home. Taking some hits, because I keep forgetting to cloak. I think I may have just sat through an entire super attack without noticing, because I was so focused on the enemy ship. Oh, and my oxygen is down, so I'm going to need to go take care of that. We'll cloak just to dodge that, and like that, we have completed the second form. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Send my rockmen down to kick this drone off my ship. I'm going to send my Zoltan over to fix up my drone control, and send my pilot over just to top off his health, along with my gunner. Rockmen are getting low on health, so I'm going to swap them out. I'm going to send my Mantis in just to finish him off. There's not much sense in having them try to repair that breach in the hull, but at the very least they can take out the drone. I'm actually going to try and time this so that they enter the room at the same time, so I can repair this as efficiently as possible. Zoltan do not have enough health to linger around in airless rooms for very long. Alright. They are healed up, just gotta top off my rockmen, and we will be good to go. I need to upgrade my cloaking system once, just so it'll stay running if it takes a hit. Alright, I think we are all set. The final encounter. Alright, ion bombs do a ton of damage against the Zoltan super shield, so I do want to make a point of using that in my opening salvo. You can see, it's gone already. That's that's delightful. There's some boarders on my ship. They're about to meet up with two very angry stone men. And so now it is just a matter of dodging that super attack and taking out their shields. There it is. Successfully dodged. Shields are down. Missile launcher is destroyed, so I can bring my Mantis home, and then open up on it with my lasers. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. And this fight is essentially over. I finally did it. Oh, thank God. 4 playthroughs. Took me 4 tries, but I finally got it right. What did I do right this time? A lot of it was luck. I had some bad luck in earlier games, but I had some bad luck at the beginning of this one as well, and I was just able to claw my way back from it. I made a couple good decisions with buying equipment. Getting that teleporter early is what saved this entire run. And then from there, I think it was just consistent play and some friendly random number generators. Anyway, thank you for watching. I am relieved to not have to do another run-through with this stupid ship, and I will see you next time.